All right, I think we're live right now. So, okay. Yeah, now it says we're live. Okay, so, hey, this is me again. And I'm really, as you can see, I brought my good friend Dannphan back onto the show. How are you doing?
Doing good.
Yes, because I know we got some stuff to talk about, but you recently just came back from a con, right?
Yeah. It was a bit of a faraway con. It's all the way in like West Michigan, so long drive. I'll tell you that much.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah, because it's from Michigan and you're based in.
New Jersey. So
Oh, yeah, yeah, that is pretty far.
it's a solid 11 hours in the car, but it's worth it to get to meet some cool people, of course.
Oh yeah, but at the end of the day, I'm just glad that you at least had a good time, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's all. That's what pretty much all it is. That's what it's all about. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I know we kind of talked about quite a bit of stuff. Like I think I was just sharing about this one thing that I'm doing, but I think today we're probably gonna most likely focus on comics and also discuss movies or anything that's kind of in our radar right now because I know we got a lot, or not really a whole lot, but still, there's never a dull moment this year.
For sure.
Yeah, so I guess in the world of comics, like I'm trying to catch up with some other stuff, but I've just mainly been reading like, RG or IDW. So what are some of the, because I know you kind of cover some on your channel, but what are some of the ones that you kind of been kind of, dabbling into?
Right. So I've got a bunch of indie comics that were sent to me. I just, for the latest read throughs, I just read some DC stuff, but nothing really spectacular that I would be recommending to people. Um, but most of actually like recently I've been starting to like pick up novels again. Oh, isn't that like super special for a comic person to pick up something with no pictures for once? But yeah, I've been looking into some like indie novels and reading some of those to see what other like indie writers out there have to offer outside of the comic sphere, and that's been pretty interesting. And I'm also like very ambitiously getting into Detective Conan, which is that's a project because it is so long. I mean, 2,000 episodes is nothing to scoff at. That is an achievement as far as anime goes to make it that length. It is good. I do like it, but perhaps they should have a little less filler and a little bit more like adding to the ongoing plot because it can get kind of frustrating at some point. And I do know that the creator has also had some frustrations when it comes to coming up with new mysteries all the time because he's essentially just forced to keep the series going since it's such a cash cow. But it is good. I do appreciate that some of my fans were recommending it to me. I'm glad that I gave it a shot. I also started watching Trigun, Trigun, which is a cult classic for some people. I haven't finished it yet, so no spoilers in chat there. But I've been enjoying it so far. I think it's pretty fun. I know that there's a remake out. I haven't looked at the remake. I'm watching the original because I kind of like the art style better. It's just kind of a preference thing. I really enjoy that 90s anime art style.
Yeah, I think I kind of feel the same way for. Let me see, what's this one show that I want? I don't. Just to clarify, I just started picking up on some anime, but not all of it. But I've just been rewatching like Hunter x Hunter, the new one, and I know that there's the old one from like way back in the '90s that I still need to check out. But yeah, just I think the one that came out in 2011, I think. Yeah, like 20, like definitely in the 2010s. But yeah, And I do, if I'm not mistaken, I do believe that it's from the, like the shonen, the manga is from the same author as like Yu Yu Hakusho, and it definitely has like a lot of elements that is very much inspired from that series. And I like how it's doing its own thing, like it's a shonen show, and just really not afraid to just really explore the characters, like just do like this psychoanalytical kind of stuff and really make the characters just not like, I'm just going to be the best fighter in the world or any of that junk. Like these characters are actually striving to be better. And that's what I really like about it. And also the villains are just some of the most, I mean, there's some that can range from pretty there's some that are okay to pretty good to just downright creepy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know exactly what you mean. I did watch. People recommended that I watched like the newer version of Hunter x Hunter, so that's how I got caught up on it. And then I went to reading the manga, but the manga is kind of like hard to keep up with because it has so
Uh,
many hiatuses, and also it gets more and more loose when it comes to actually having art in the chapters. Like there's this famous page from a Hunter and Hunter chapter where it is one panel of art, and then in all the other panels it is just text. It's just like a novel down to the end of the page, and that's pretty rough when you're like trying to read a manga. It's supposed to have the art incorporated with the text, but
for sure. And as far as like other anime or shows that I've been kind of, checking out, I know that One Piece is still a thing. So yeah, you just still got to find that One Piece after like 1,000 episodes. Uh,
still not as many episodes as Detective Conan.
yeah. And speaking of that though, like the only knowledge, I'm probably going to shout out my friend Shakira Dunn, who is also like a writer and does a lot of voice acting and stuff like that. She is a huge Conan fanatic. So every time we would just kind of talk, she would just, we would just kind of throw in like a little, yeah, I'm just going to throw in that Conan. You know that the meme where everybody is trying to throw in a JoJo reference? Well, it's like it's with her, it's either Kingdom Hearts or Conan. It's one of the two. And I know I'm calling her out. I love you, Shakira, but come on, it's pretty much not really an open secret. It's like every time we have that one series or show where we're just so obsessed with, and then we just sneak in a little reference in there because no one's ever gonna know. No one's gonna see that it's from a show, and that's what we do best. We steal from the best.
Yeah,
SRS.
yeah. It is fun to have those little like inside jokes with close friends like that.
Yeah, for sure. And you did mention, yeah, with comic books, I just like I said, I'm just still trying to keep up with them. I think the only ones that I've been following semi consistently are like the Sonic IDW. I mean, big surprise because look behind me. Just the Sonic IDW stuff, and um, there's also another series that I actually want to give a recommend, like giving a shout out to, and I did a comic dub of it not too long ago, but it's called Super Mario Adventures Continued, which is kind of a fan made continuation of like these Mario comic books that came out way back in the 90s by Nintendo Power.
I
So
remember them. Yeah.
yeah, so it's like a continuation of, and they do such a good job. I mean, it's not from the official staff, but it's really pretty much like these adventures continue with these characters, but they still very much feel like it's the current, the Mario cast, where they do blend in elements from the original 90s series and they kind of do their own thing, which I also really like. And I guess if you're somebody who is also like a fan of like Mario kind of character, goofy stories, like this might be up your alley. But yeah, I'd really say that it's very well done. And like I said, was I loved it enough that I was actually crazy enough to do. I mean, I'm not the first person to do it, obviously, but I did a comic dub of it for the first issue. So if you want to check that out on my channel, I'll probably post I'll probably not post a link in the description, but you can probably check it on my channel. You just have to scroll and look. But I know it's still up there. So that's one comic that I would recommend. And of course, like the original, Adventures series is pretty good. And I think the Nintendo, since on the topic of Nintendo, I think the Nintendo Power comics are also really nice. It's not just with, I mean, there are a lot of Mario stuff, but there are some really good Donkey Kong, Zelda's, Metroid. I think Star Fox had an issue here and there, but yeah, it was really those Mario, stuff that really just just really stood out to us because not only did it have like a really vibrant art style, but it's just the humor, the characters is yeah, and it was a really good adventure. Like it was just one of those adventures where it kind of sucks you in, like you get pulled in, and especially for an issue that lasted up to I want to say 12 issues, give or take. Yeah, it was a really good. Yeah, because I remember why it's 12. Because I think it was like a monthly thing, so it did last up for an entire year, which I think is pretty clever. So yeah, an adventure that goes up to a year, sign me up. Yeah, I
Yeah,
just really.
you ever read the there's a Metroid manga that I only know about
Oh
because
yeah,
somebody
I
mentioned it
did
to
hear
me.
about it. Yeah,
I read a couple chapters and it was like pretty good, but it was a little bit slow, so I never ended up finishing it.
yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, I did hear some good stuff about the Metroid one. And on also on the topic of Sonic, I know there was like a Sonic manga thing, and Mario had a manga type of thing. So, but those are like really obscure. If anybody finds a good copy of these, definitely let me know because I love to check it out if I'm not swamped with a bajillion things. Yeah,
Yeah, for
but then
sure.
and then of course your own comics, which no duh, because I kind of dubbed a few of your stuff. Yeah, definitely
Yeah,
those I also recommend. So, yeah.
thanks. Right now mostly I'm just focusing on like the one series, but I do have other plans for new stuff in the future. It's just kind of a matter of trying to organize everything so that stuff is always kind of coming out. Nobody forgets that I exist if I'm if cause I
Yeah.
don't want to take a Hunter hiatus and then have people forget that the series even exists, forget to check in on it.
Yeah, those long running anime that just goes through a lot of production, you know, what do they call it? Production hell, and then just go through a lot of hiatus. Like one hiatus every season, I think.
Yeah, it can be pretty brutal. Hunter fans, like they have it rough, and then also I think Berserk fans have it rough. There's like I think they're much better about it now. They like upload a couple chapters every year, but they it's still rough.
Yeah. So I think since we're kind of still on the topic of like comics or manga, what are okay? Was there any manga or comics that you've read? I mean, you did so many videos over the years, but what would you say were the ones that, like, out of the videos that you've done on, reading a lot of this stuff, which ones would you say were kind of the ones that you found yourself really enjoying the most out of all the, videos of covering in all the years that you've been doing the videos? On your channel? Like what comics or series would you say that oh yeah, definitely recommend just 10 out of 10? Just what would they be and why?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a bunch that have kind of a special place in my heart for all kinds of different reasons. I like Spy Family. That one is like very wholesome, good stuff. A lot of feel good material in there. Um, and it also feels like one of those manga that has the potential to go on forever. But I don't really think the creator uh, maybe wants it to go on forever. Maybe they already have an ending in mind. Uh, Kaiju number 8 that ended recently. I believe this year it ended, and I find that kind of unfortunate because I feel like that could have been going on much longer. But I really liked the art style of that, and the action pages were just incredible. That was a joy to read. My only complaint is that there wasn't more of it. You know, it kind of ends open endedly too. Like it, you could add more to it if maybe a publisher wants to pick it up again and then continue it, which I guess is the smart way to end a series like that, is to leave it open ended so that you could add more to it later if by chance, you know, it becomes it gets another wave of popularity, I guess. Um, but yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot that have stood out to me. I think maybe Freerin also is like a big one, and that was one that I wasn't expecting to enjoy as much as I did, because when I first read the description of the story, it sounded very melancholic. It sounded like it was just going to be very sad, and I was going to be crying the whole time if I watched it. But it does a good job at like kind of balancing out the sad parts and also the wholesome parts and the happy parts and the action. I also enjoy the art style. It's another unique one that kind of stands out to me, as far as being something that can stand out. Obviously, it's difficult for any artist or writer to stand out, but yeah, I would say those are just the first ones that come to my mind when I think of like the best that I've reviewed on the channel so far, or at least the ones that I've enjoyed the most reading them through.
Oh yeah. Let me see. I think some of the my personal favorites I are the ones that I never really finished. Like I remember reading like a Danganronpa manga that I never finished. There's also let me see. I mean I do have like it's I think it should probably still be somewhere in my shelf, but I do have some of the original Dragon Ball, not Dragon Ball Z, but the Dragon Ball just original, you know, the like the OG series before, you know, Vegeta, now, you know, the Super Saiyan shtick. Yeah, but
Right.
just like good old Dragon Ball with, you know, Kid Goku and Bulma and all the pals. Um, and I feel like I should probably mention that too because I know I just definitely want to pay my respect to Toriyama, who yeah just really did change the anime and manga landscape for all of us. I mean, if it wasn't for Dragon Ball, I don't know if we would have had stuff like Yu Yu Hakusho or One Piece or any of these heavy hitters that we're still getting today.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he was really great,
He really
and
was.
that's another art style that just really stands out too.
Yeah, it's so iconic.
Yeah, it really is. It's very unique.
Yeah. So I know I probably only have at least about 10-ish or so minutes. So if I may, I'll probably just do like okay, let me share my screen here because we're gonna actually go to your stuff. So yeah, so for the Burning Star comics, since we're kind of on the topic, and I'm just doing like my shameless self promo of your stuff on my channel. So yeah, because with your website and everything, because you've been doing this for a while, I guess out of all of these, would you say that there was a couple of stories that you've done that you still hold very near and dear to your heart? And if so, um, just share them.
Yeah, I mean, like all of them kind of hold a special place in my heart in a way. I guess like if I am to pick out like recent ones that were very fun, obviously people love the one shot. It's not like getting a job will kill you, which is just kind of this
Yeah.
fun, goofy one that I did because I knew that it would be fun to do. So I'm glad that that did actually manage to resonate with a lot of people. And there's the one where me and my boyfriend collaborated on. He did the writing, but I did the art, and we kind of like work together in that sense, and that was Horizon Quest. That was very fun to work on, and it was also like very heartwarming once again to see like a lot of people coming together to help support us, and they were very supportive of like um, I guess couples working together, because they always say that it's really difficult for couples to work together on a comic project. Like they'll tear each other's throats out, they'll hate each other so much. But it was an experience for sure. I think we overall worked pretty well together. And yeah, my latest one, the Dark Fantasy, which I'm hoping to continue to improve on and maybe make even better as we finish up book 2. That's really exciting.
Yeah, and as you can see right here, we have Horizon Quest. We have It's Not Like Getting a Job Will Kill You, which is also another one that love to I would love to do a comic dub of if yeah, it's just right now, like I said, time and so much has been popping up on my end, so it might take me a minute or two to get to it, but trust me, there's going to be a lot more Dannphan dubs on my channel just soonish. We'll see. I don't have a schedule anymore.
Yeah, I
But yeah,
appreciate it.
yeah, I think some of the ones that I have dubbed, because I also really wanted to do something like I wanted to dub some stuff that might be a little sensitive. Like I think the blindfold was definitely more of like a darker one. But then you also have lighthearted stuff like um, okay, the secrets of getting the lady that I did like way back. Uh, yeah,
That was
doing
a fun
something
one.
goofy like that. Yeah, so I just really like how not only are you tackling like a lot of different many different tones and genres, but art style and really experimenting with different just the overall visual look of your shows is also really something that is a lot of fun to do as an artist. I feel like, because right now I could do something that is like comedic, but then I could do something that's like more mystery, kind of horror like. Yeah, it's just really fun to discipline yourself as a creator and as an artist.
Yeah, I think every artist actually goes through kind of a period
Yeah.
of experimenting with different styles and utilizing some variety until they eventually find like where they want to stay, permanently.
Oh yeah, for sure. So yeah, these are just the previews of some of the work. I mean, some of your comics. This is It's Not Like Getting a Job Will Kill You. As you can see, it's definitely more like quirky, comedic. Definitely has like anime influence in there, where it's you know some of it is a bit exaggerated, but most of the time it does have this kind of like more grounded type of you know look to it, if that makes sense. Not afraid to be goofy, but at the same time still tries to keep it grounded. Well, I mean, the overall story is just like this Oliver dude just gets a job, and then of course chaos just ensues.
Naturally, just like real life.
Exactly. So, like I'm showing you right here, you could just get it on digital, and there's this also the print. Now for Horizon Quest, actually, that's kind of something else that I wanted to ask you, because you've collaborated these with Adam, which I just also want to give him a shout out. For both of these stories, or like for anything, like I know we kind of talked about comics and series that really inspired you, but for these in particular, what were some of the main inspirations you had while working on these stories? If you don't mind me asking.
Well, yeah, both me and Adam are definitely fantasy fans. So
Yeah,
we do consume a lot of fantasy content. We play Dungeons and Dragons, the classic nerd thing. You have
yeah.
an adventuring
As
party
you
and
can
you come up
tell,
with all these
yeah, as you can see
fun
here,
scenarios. Yeah,
very different
exactly.
style from like the job comic. Very different here.
Yeah. And then it's not like getting a job will kill you. I consume a lot of like very cartoony, zany stuff. And
As you should.
yeah, I really, as well as like American cartoons, I also enjoy the more zany anime that also exists out there,
Yeah.
where they have these. it's kind of a trope in a way where they have this goofy main character, and you go back and forth on this idea, like, does he know that he has like this crazy luck, or is he just getting by on pure luck alone, or does he know like what's going on, and is it intentional? And it's kind of one of those things that inspired me to write It's Not Like Getting a Job Will Kill You, where it's like, in actuality, he doesn't know what he's doing, but he's got a lucky suit,
I
and
mean,
the
nobody does.
through. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think it's really nice that it lets you just do close-ups here. That's really cool. But yeah, it's just like with different stuff, different comics. Oh, and you can also just purchase it now, either online or just buy a physical copy. So definitely check these out whenever you can. I think that's pretty much enough here. But going back to the comic, like when it comes to okay, I think one of my other questions that I wanted to ask you is what are your favorite and least favorite tropes of just books, comics, manga, so on and so forth? And what is something that you do to make them fun or interesting or engaging just with your own spin? Um,
Yeah, I mean, ooh, favorite tropes. I mean, I guess there's a lot that I actually don't mind. As some some I'm a little bit more critical of than others, but I don't know if I would say, like, for example, I guess it's more of a genre now, the isekai genre. Like, I kind of like the idea of that, but so many stories in that genre I'm so critical of, because I feel like maybe it's just wasted potential. But the idea of like normal person goes to a fantastical world has always been like appealing to me. So it's one of those things where maybe I'm more critical of some than others, but I don't necessarily like hate the trope. It could be done well, but I just have maybe more skepticism towards it. I would say the same with like, well, everybody says Mary Sue type characters. Obviously, there is examples of that done well. Stuff like One Punch Man and Mob Psycho 100, funny
oh
enough,
my
which is the same creator, but they have
God,
like the main character be like ultimate powerful, but it works. It works for that story. And some other ones, it doesn't really work as well. But yeah, it's in a way it's very much down to the writer and their skill and how they go about it, but also personal preference and what I find appealing in storytelling and what other people find appealing, stuff like that.
yeah. And I also kind of think in this age where we're starting to see a little bit more of the creator or the director or just somebody's own personal touch on something. Because I know that for years we kind of would just go through this drought of just content. I mean, don't get me wrong, we're still kind of going through it, but I really think that, with indie stuff, with comics or shows or movies, I'm starting to see like more of like this positive viewpoint on it. Like, for instance, like we've been talking about comics for a while, but like on the subject of movies, I don't know if you've seen like Superman or Fantastic or any of the new Marvel DC stuff. Like I'm not really a Marvel or DC guy, but I just wanted to check them out because like okay, I don't think I've watched any of them in a while. Fantastic Four was fine. Superman was actually really good. I'm not gonna go into spoiler territory, but I'm just really glad that it's starting to go in a more positive direction when it comes to these movies with James Gunn, so on and so forth. Because yeah, if we recall from a decade or so ago, it wasn't really in the best spot. It was
Yeah, yeah.
especially Fantastic Four. Ooh, ooh, man, I don't want to talk about. But yeah, I just glad that it's going in a more positive direction. So that's all I got to say about that.
Yeah, we're in the great turnaround where things are only uphill from here.
Yeah, I mean, we're out of a strike, so who knows what's gonna happen for now. But yeah, I think that pretty much covers everything I want to discuss here. I know it's kind of like a little short, but honestly, I just wanted to do a fun little episode just talking about, your stuff and comic recommendations and just still go into why we just love geeking out about this. So thank you for joining me once again.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me. Thanks for helping me promote my stuff. I appreciate it.
Yeah, anytime. And I don't know if I have any final words to say, but to anybody out there that wants to keep doing this stuff, keep on creating and keep on spreading love, joy, like what we're both kind of doing. And yeah, stay tuned for more episodes of Solomon Try that might be coming out soon. But until next time, I'll catch you later. Have a great Saturday. God bless you and have a great time. And keep on rocking out there. I salute thee. Okay, peace. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.